The hype is building for Suicide Squad, the upcoming game by Rocksteady Studios. And I gotta say, guys, I'm really excited about this title, especially after watching, the reveals and things of that nature surrounding this game and the rumblings and the, expectations that are coming out. I'm very excited about it, guys, and I want to talk about everything that we want in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions here. I would love to hear yours, whether you disagree or agree, in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So for me, guys, Suicide Squad is a title, like I stated, coming out in 2022 by Rocksteady Studios. And we know Rocksteady, guys. These are the guys, of course, behind the Batman Arkham series. And overall, I enjoyed the Batman Arkham series. I really did. And I'm not saying that that's over. Maybe Rocksteady's going to continue it in some capacity or another. But I love the fact that they are working on Suicide Squad. I think that this is going to be kind of a fresh take almost, kind of get them away from the Batman Arkham series for a period of time. And so now with this title, one of the biggest things for me, guys, is that this is, to me, the type of game that needs to be a full package. We always talk about AAA titles being full package deals where you get, single player, multiplayer, and co-op modes. Seems that we're at least getting the single player as well as multiplayer here in Suicide Squad, which is huge. But I certainly would like to also see co-op modes. I would love to be able to, play with your friends, play that single player story. If, at some point or another, you can play that. I usually play it in the beginning before I even play multiplayer. I always play the single player story first, just to kind of get a feel for the mechanics, gameplay, and things of that nature, and the story, and then I move on to the multiplayer. And so having a full package, though, guys, it brings you back to the game over and over again. We always talk about that. It's very important to have multiple ways that you can connect with a series, especially one like Suicide Squad here that is a new IP for Rocksteady that they're working on. And so you really want them to create something where after you're done playing the single player story, you come back to it over and over again. We know with a lot of other games out there that are AAA titles that only have single player stories, after you're done beating it, that being the campaign, you very well may only play it one more time through. You may not even play it a second time through and move on to other games. So it's very important that you keep that fan base that you build throughout the course of the shelf life of that title. You keep them, coming back for more. And so that for me is first and foremost, guys. I also would love to see this story, this single player story, be a relatively, extended story where it's relatively a longer story than maybe even that of the Batman Arkham series. I would love to see this title be larger, be something that is just, a lot more, there's a lot more story here, a lot more to do within the world, and have it be like a long extended story. I think would be awesome, because a lot of times, guys, these single player stories sometimes are very short. They're not, take 6 hours, 10 hours to beat, and I think it would be great to see this be an extended single player story and experience. I also think, guys, having a semi-open world to a full open world here would be great for this title, because it seems like you're going to be playing multiple members of the Suicide Squad. I think that's going to be really great to understand and learn more about each individual character, as well as being able to explore, being able to explore the city and just kind of make it, feel like a more like a living, breathing space that you're able to traverse in multiple different ways. You have that downtime. You have that time where you're just a supervillain, right? And you're just able to kind of do whatever it is you want. And you kind of are, having that and those aspects to Suicide Squad, I think is going to be, could go very, really a far way for us as fans, and I think Rocksteady would be really smart to make this even just a semi-open world. And when I look at it, guys, even games like Gears of War, I always bring up Gears because Gears of War was it was a very linear story, whereas the direction of where they where you had to go, you couldn't really explore much. But once you got to Gears 5, it changed, and they did a semi-open world setting, and I was very skeptical of that at first. But then after playing it, and you actually get to kind of see what it's all about, it's so nice to be able to have that semi-open world. It really makes you feel like you're like actually in that world, and something absolutely awesome about that. So I would love to see that as well. Also, guys, for me, getting back to, the multiplayer, I think having, different ways, different earnable items that you can have within the multiplayer, even in the single player story, even in, whatever, the co-op missions and such, I think it would be really awesome to have in the multiplayer earnable items over payable items. We know, guys, most AAA titles have different types of, kind of microtransactions and things of that nature, but I would love to see us get earnable items as we play the multiplayer, whether we're talking PvE where it's you and your friends playing waves and waves of enemies, or if it's you being able to play with your friends in a PvP setting. Whatever it is they decide to do here with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I think that is something that is going to be really important, to have multiple modes, but also having earnable items. That's also going to bring you back to the game, because I've always stated that having really cool earnable items are things that you keep working on over time. The things that you can just pay for, guys, you just pay for them and then you have them, and a lot of times they don't have a lot of meaning. So having earnable items over payable items, I think, is going to be really, really important. And for me, guys, I'm hoping that what Rocksteady Studios decides to do as we go, having like that end game content, or having things that are added along the way. If they add DLC, having it free for everyone, I think would be really great. Having crossplay here with Suicide Squad would be absolutely awesome as well. But I also think, guys, that adding new characters, adding new characters along the journey that you can unlock in the multiplayer especially, but even, having different, weaponry, different weapons, and all of those things that you can even unlock in the single player story would be absolutely awesome. Having like a skill tree where you're able to, obviously get new skills and such as you go along the journey in the single player story, multiplayer, whatever it may be. I think those are ways, guys, in my opinion, that can really bring you back, because you're constantly trying to add to your arsenal, so to speak, from a character perspective, to a weapon perspective, to a skill perspective. All of those things I think are going to be really important. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is easily, guys, the competition, in my opinion, to Marvel's The Avengers. This is kind of like Warner Brothers' take on taking on none other than, Marvel's Avengers. And I think that what we've seen so far with Suicide Squad, I think they absolutely have something here where they can compete against the Avengers. There's been a lot of, backlash to a lot of things within the Avengers, which I'm sure, over time it'll get better. But what I'm getting at is I think Suicide Squad's got a real opportunity here to get a lot of people to try the game out at the very least. And then, of course, may have the opportunity to really bring people from the Avengers over to Suicide Squad to play that. I think last but not least for me, guys, this kind of leads me to the last thing here, which is free-to-play elements. We see it now a lot in the gaming industry. Free-to-play multiplayer like in Halo Infinite, free-to-play Battle Royale, Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, all these different titles. Having Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League have some free-to-play elements, I believe would drastically improve the chances here of people at least just trying the game out. I think it would be absolutely huge, especially multiplayer. I think multiplayer, more than anything, you make that free to play, you are asking for a lot of people to at least try it out. And if you really knock it out of the park, that being Rocksteady, you could have a juggernaut of a title on your hands. So that would be the last thing for me, guys. But, I would love to hear from all of you. What are the things that you want to see in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Suicide Squad content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.